No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. All the teachers start to teach a new way. They're the ones that suffer, wretched every day. Teach the children.
Teach the children. Teach the babies.
Hey.
And good morning. You're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Kiana.
And I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
And we're brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as
See that?
Because we are redefining.
We redefining what's cool.
Because
Smart is the new gangster, baby.
Baby. And if you didn't know, now you know. Are you up this morning? Yeah. It's Friday.
Cranking and cranking.
Are you cranking and cranking?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're such a rebel. You're such a rebel.
I ain't crazy too. That's all.
I ain't call you crazy.
No, I'm looking at the shirt.
Oh,
yeah, I'm crazy too.
Okay. So, how was your week been so far?
It's been an amazing week.
Mm-hmm.
Big shouts out to all the community members that are doing the work of the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an amazing week. And I can't wait to see what the next week has in store for us as a community.
Okay, that was so broad, but okay, I'll rock with it. So, have you did anything fun for spring break? Because the kids been out all week. It's been kind of quiet,
and that's a good thing. Spring break has come and gone. Big shouts out to all the kids out there.
Well, it's not gone yet. It ain't completely gone yet. Today, Friday, it's the last day, but then you got the weekend, so
that don't count. That's the weekend.
That
ain't spring break.
It
ain't. That don't work.
Why you didn't tell me that?
Keep pointing at them, put them on.
Well, tell me that so I can turn you up.
Spring break ain't the same as it was when I was growing up. Because when we was growing up, we had like big dog mega events. But we will do better for the kids.
Yeah.
What you laughing about?
Because you like we will do better. Because it wasn't a bad. It's like we didn't hear about any violence.
We ain't supposed to.
Right. So this was a good spring break. I know. So like for spring break over here, our kids went to New York.
Wow.
So
wow.
The younger kids, some went to New York and some went to go see the Grand Canyon.
Oh wow! What culture they have? That's a great culture. What culture? That's
I mean, it's about like life experiences and
culture.
Right, and giving the kids memories. Cause like growing up, that's the one thing that I can always say. Like we traveled a lot and we saw a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm,
so it made me just appreciate home.
And I think that one of the things about going out and like doing stuff like Grand Canyons, because so many people don't even see stuff like that until they're adults or senior citizens even. So to get the opportunity when you're young is big, huge.
So yeah, that's kind of what. So we were talking about spring break a little bit. If you just tuning in, and just seeing what did your spring break look like? Did you make the kids clean up the house? Did they have to get out? Did they go to summer camp? Did your kids go to summer camp?
Yes.
They didn't have no field trips at summer camp?
No. No.
You say no.
Field trip was summer camp.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like the kids was pretty boring.
Boring. That's like excitement. They ain't got to go to school. They get to run around and play. That's big.
All right. Yep. So hey, What's on your mind today?
This is the first part of a conversation series that we're gonna have around the gas plant district. For those who don't know, it's an important redevelopment happening here in St. Pete. The deal is not done. There's still negotiation around the gas plant district.
Right.
A lot of people don't know what the status is. A lot of people don't know what's going on, what's the timeline, and what we're going to do here at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We're going to invite people on both sides of the conversation, people who support the redevelopment, people who have questions about the redevelopment, and people who are just flat out against the redevelopment. We're going to offer up our platform to allow people to talk about this important issue
It
in the
is
community.
because it's 86 acres that's being developed.
86 acres.
And so I guess we're getting right into it. So today we have the coming back.
Yes.
The League of Women Voters.
Yes. Well, the first time they were just talking about voting and, the electoral process. But this particular conversation today is going to be centered around a survey that they did on citizens and registered voters around the gas plant redevelopment.
Right. So they're going to come in and talk about that. Good morning, Sharonda. And just tell us about the information that they've gathered, how they gathered it, what they found out about it, the pros and the cons that they found about it. And then on Monday, it is Monday, right?
Not Monday, but
next week.
We're going to continue the conversation.
We're going to continue the conversation
with other parts and other representation of the deal. And I think it's important that the community gets as much information about this deal. The deal is going to take probably 25, 30 years to complete. And that's being generous with the estimate. Some of these estimates push this out past 2045, 2050 as far as redevelopment of this 86 acres, and people don't understand the gravity of that. The economic development that development like that could potentially bring to our community, or it could not. It's all dependent on the deal. It all depends on the nuances. Like they say, the devil is in the details. And I think right now, city council and the people who are really impacted by this deal have to get into the details. We have to get past the personality politics. We got to get past the people we like or dislike, and get down to the brass tacks and get down to the nitty gritty. This is not personal, even though people make like if you don't like this deal, you're somehow against somebody. If you don't like elements of this deal, you're somehow against, your leaders, or you're against somebody. But the reality is, if you're against this deal, you're against the deal. If you're for the deal, you're for the deal. That doesn't mean you like the person who presented the deal. That don't mean you necessarily like baseball or dislike baseball. It's about the deal itself. And what people do is try to conflate the two and then roll it all up in one. Now it's a big popularity contest. Now I just like it because I like you.
I mean, so let's say this. This is typically how it goes because people don't do their research, right? And so people don't do their research, and when they're not doing their research, you rely on other people who've done the research, or people that you trust. Right. And so if they said it, then it must be right because I trust
them.
Yeah. So
or not.
Yeah.
I know, and I agree. But I think what this is, because it does have a political and like a political or aura to it, or aroma. It smells like team spirit. And I think with that, some people have not been able to take apart the two versus the person who telling them or getting their information from versus them or liking the deal. So a lot of people, and this is from my experience, people have mixed emotions about it, and they're not quite willing to share how they feel in fear of hurting a person who they support.
I'll tell you, I've listened to quite a few different people, right? I heard some good stuff, I heard some bad stuff. I was like, okay, it makes sense. Then I'm like, oh no, it don't make sense, because it's a lot going into it. So, long story short, we're here to give you as much information as possible so that when this deal is done, we can say, okay, we did everything we can to try to make sure St. Pete was in a good space with this deal and that we don't lose.
I really want more of the community members involved, the rank and file community members involved. Okay. And whatever decision they make, that's the decision I really would be happy living with. So it's not the decision from the top down where the people in the skyboxes, and not meaning no pun intended, but the people in the skyboxes making the decisions and the rest of us having to work and live through those decisions. I would rather the decision come from the bottom up so that the people who have to work in those
and live in that area,
the people who have to rebuild that, the people who have to clean it, and the janitors, the people that they can feel a sense of ownership in what they're building or cleaning because they had a stake in the decision that was made.
Good morning, Damien.
That's how I think about it.
Okay, I like it. No, and really, this is why, because we're really grassroots over here.
That's what it is. This is grassroots.
We're really grassroots over here, and what we're trying to do is make sure that the people are heard.
Yes.
And that the decision that is made for it is, again, best for the community.
Yep.
And I agree with you. Like, I don't want the person who makes the final decision for it should not be the person who doesn't live in this community.
Or it shouldn't be the persons who stand to profit the most.
Because because if they profit the most, the deal is definitely gonna benefit them.
And it's gonna be around the profit and their profit. So that's why the person and the people who benefit the most necessarily shouldn't be the controller of the whole deal, because there's people who benefits come later down the line, or who like the people who looking for affordable housing. If the deal is accepted in its current state, affordable housing won't be built until 2040, 2045. You get what I'm saying? So in the next 21 years, we'll wait for affordable housing.
And then
That's the decision I don't want made like that.
And then what is affordable housing?
But the reason, but before we even get to what is affordable housing, let's just say affordable housing 21 years from now. And what I'm saying is, because the profit isn't there for them to build that now.
Yeah.
That's why it's 21 years. And so what I'm saying is, the reason that decision was made, because the person who profit the most decided that's what profits them.
Right. It's gonna cut. It's gonna cut into their pocket prior. So like, it's not beneficial to them to do it early, because they're not gonna get the bonus. Like I said, and again, we're talking about this and we're doing scenarios and saying why
conversations.
Right. This is conversations. Please,
because we got a guest coming in to talk about the League of Women Voters, Pinellas County, who did a survey of registered voters. And we're going to talk about the findings. We're going to talk about, what impacts and what does it mean and what could it mean for us in this community around the gas plant redevelopment. If you and your family lived in a gas plant, send us some questions. We're going to have a continued conversation around the gas plant. We're going to have a series of conversations and have people coming from every aspect of this conversation to hear, and let them stand on the platform that is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, 99 Gems Care Festival Radio.
And if you want to call and ask a question, you see, if you're on Facebook, you see the number going across the screen, but it's 727-637-2416. If you're listening in on the radio station itself, because starting at 8:00, we're going to go right into this conversation when we get back from our break.
Yes.
And we do have our guest that's going to be in. Well, I think she's already in, but she'll come back in at 8:00, and then we'll dive right into that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that is very important that we have this conversation. These are hard-filled conversations.
Yes.
And you said like not to take it personal, but it's hard not to take it personal when it's something. It's your city that you love.
Oh. So I'm glad you said that. And when I mean don't take it personal.
Good morning, Stephanie.
I mean, and I'm glad you said that.
Good morning, Miss Teresa.
The distinction I mean about not taking it personal is because if you stand on one side of this argument and a person who stands on the opposite side does not become your enemy.
No.
This is not because honestly, and I don't like when people say, "Oh, it's business. It's nothing personal." Business is personal.
Yeah.
Business is one of the most personal aspects you can get in
Good
capitalism.
morning,
Because in business, I can deal with who I want to deal with. Mm-hmm. I can choose to deal with you the way I choose to deal with you, from a charitable, loving standpoint or ruthless, tyrannical standpoint, because business gives me the options. And it is very personal. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the emotions around people who feel that if you're not on their side, mm-hmm. if you're not standing with them, and the reality is a lot of people are not standing with you. No matter which side you're standing on, there's somebody standing on the other side. And it might be somebody you love. It might be somebody you like. It might be somebody you loathe. But what I'm saying is, let's not rip the fabric of our community apart because we can't come to a consensus on Tropicana Field.
Right.
You get what I mean? Or gas plant district, or whatever you want to call it today.
It's kind of like this. You know how when they say you don't talk religion and politics, right?
Yeah.
But those are
most important conversations.
Those very important conversations. Yeah. Now, I'm one of the people who believe that that just because we don't align necessarily about the same policies doesn't make you a bad person.
Mm-hmm. It depends on your policy.
Right, but I mean, that's what I say. It necessarily doesn't make you a bad person. Yeah. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like when people look at things, they look at it and what's best interest for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Or some people go against their self-interest and do what the popular or the in crowd does, and it's
they
not
feel
best
like,
for them.
But they think it is. When people are making decisions, they're feeling like it's the best decision overall.
But no, some people just go with the team though. They don't feel it's the best decision. They're going with the team. They're carrying the line. You get what I mean? And in their heart, they may absolutely feel the opposite. But because this is the way, you know, the in crowd is
Steve,
going.
Good morning,
or
Coach D.
Or if it's going, you know, because a lot of people vote against their own self-interest. A lot of people in the community, because they don't have a political understanding or a deeper understanding on what they're supporting, and oftentimes they'll be against it.
But again, because they don't know the information, but they voted on what they thought was right. So it was the best interest of them. If I, depending on like what you just said, they vote on stuff that they don't understand, right? And that
they don't
going
understand
with,
the implications.
Right, but they go with the masses. They felt like the masses was right. Mm-hmm. And so that was the best interest in them that they thought.
Group. Or their group, not even the masses, their group.
Well, the masses, when I'm saying
their group.
We're saying the same thing, Jabbar.
No, because the masses might have a whole different thought.
What I'm saying is when
the masses might not even be involved. See, that's what because like boom.
So when I say the masses, I mean my household. Like this is, and
but
that's
your household ain't the masses.
In my group, it is.
That's your group. That's your group.
I'm saying we saying the same thing. No, you want to start something. You want to debate this early morning about little TV.
I can get started.
Yeah, you trying to get started early this morning.
Okay, But I hear you. I hear you.
And when I say the masses, if you
in the group
you
think,
said right, and I'm like, you want to with the masses. So at this point, so whoever the masses is, it don't have to be the whole population.
The in crowd.
It's your tribe.
Yeah.
Whoever you decided that you took your advice from, and you feel like that's who you rocking with. You go with it.
And they wrong.
They've
been wrong for years. And y'all can't reconcile the wrong y'all being, and you still want to walk with those. No,
I'm just stop it.
I'm just playing.
Oh my Lord. He don't even got coffee this morning.
No coffee. I got water, y'all. See, we living healthy over here.
I ain't even gonna lie. I tried to get coffee this morning.
You should have gotten some apple, because one apple does more than 2 cups of coffee a day. Somebody in my crowd told me that. See, that's my masses. My masses said if we can get some apples every morning.
That's funny.
If we can get our hands on some apples every morning, y'all it's gonna be lit up in here.
Oh man, that's so funny. No, I tried to get coffee this morning, right? And I went to McDonald's.
The line was long.
The line didn't move.
They ended up playing.
The line didn't move.
They ended up talking about the gas plant redevelopment.
This is so funny. I sat there until I couldn't sit there any longer.
Are you serious? That's why I called you. You was in the coffee line?
I was in the coffee line. But I mean, hey. And I still came in here with no coffee. So I have a question. Would you rather?
Okay, would you rather?
Would you rather have a world with no music or a world with no color?
So, music is color to your ears. So, with music being color to your ears and color, so that's like having a black and white world.
Just a whole black and white
to your ears. There's no music. And then with your eyes, that is a very, very, very rough one. I enjoy color so much. But I know,
like you just walk around and life be like, but I think I would need music.
I do.
I think I need, you know who here today?
Who?
Tim McGraw. Okay, I'm the only one that's excited about Tim McGraw. I'm trying to get tickets.
I know who Tim McGraw is. Tim McGraw is like a legend.
Yes.
He done been here before.
I know. I think him and his wife live in Sarasota. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think they live in.
They be around here so much. Shout out to all the Tim McGraw fans.
Thank you.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't you got a song called Ain't Nothing Wrong With That? No, you know, I'm just playing.
So I guess we're gonna go with most people. I'm looking at it is no color.
No color?
Yeah, but because people want music.
But see, I'm into visual arts and digital art, so color is an important part, but also music. So I'm just
this is a pretty hard one to kind of
abstain. I'm abstaining from this argument.
No, you can't abstain from this argument.
I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say about this because color or music.
Just think, with no color for wigs no more.
And no trap songs.
No red lipstick.
P.I.P.I. Put them up. P.I.P.I. You ain't got none of that. You remember that song?
Yeah, but it's either one or the other. You can have color in life
or no music.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And color, music is color to your ears. You get what I'm saying? So without music, you just got people talking. You see what I'm saying?
And all we do is talk, and which bring music to their ears.
Okay. See what you did there.
I was just saying. Roy said no color would be frustrating. I'm thinking the same thing.
Music.
But no music will be. Yeah.
I was just listening to Tchaikovsky. Y'all heard of Tchaikovsky? It's like a dude. He like a classical dude. I thought I was in a movie.
You be saying a lot of people can't see color clearly.
Yeah, people can't hear music clearly either. Yeah, for real. People, this is blessings. I'm glad you mentioned it. To see the beautiful
D,
yellow.
Yeah, Coach D say music can move you even if you can't see it. Because you can feel music.
Music is the color of hearing.
We got that part.
I love it. It just inspired me when I said it. I gotta keep saying it to it sounded so good. I thought of that.
That was your aha. So you're going with music or?
No, I'm abstaining from the argument because
you
can't
cannot.
Choose.
That's the thing about the would you rather. It's supposed to be something.
I would rather you not put me in that. I would rather mind my business. I'd rather you not. Okay. I don't know. I guess music.
It's a hard way.
It's not music because I'm going to rock with music and then colors. I can see different shades of gray.
I was thinking about that too. Like, you know how like people do the artwork with the pen, with the pencil.
Yeah.
And so you can get different shades of the black and the gray and the white.
So it's a form of color, but it's nothing amazing like the amazing spectrum of the rainbow. What you reading? What they saying?
Turn on your phone.
It's dead.
Oh. Okay. No color you be say, put yourself in the shoes of blind or deaf. Yeah. They go through life.
One or the other, yeah. Yeah, that's a real decision. Think about it.
And Dan say I wouldn't be able to drive in my car without music. Road rage will be skyrocketed.
Even like think about this. Your dog doesn't see color. Dogs are black and white viewers.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Think about that. You love your dog. He doesn't know if you're black or white.
You know I'm chocolate.
No, you don't. You're a dark color gray, and he doesn't understand.
That's what I'm saying. So
he doesn't perceive the color. He doesn't love you because you're dark colored gray. So
I think I'm going with music, right? I'm keeping my music. I'm
keeping the music too.
I'm keeping the music.
I think I'm gonna be like the old dog.
And I hope I get some tickets to Tim McGraw tonight.
Hey, big shouts out to all the Tim McGraw fans. If you got any tickets, drop them off here. We'll accept all Tim McGraw tickets.
Thank you. I don't think any will come here, but I think I probably can get me like Tim McGraw tickets. Is he here? Like, if I can't get it today, maybe tomorrow because he's in Orlando.
Oh, so you gonna follow him?
I might.
Tim, we following you, Tim.
I might.
From the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, we love.
You don't even want to go to the concert.
No, I don't. I'm seeing in gray right now, like the old dog. And I just thought about this. This off topic, but on topic,
ahead.
Right? The reason dogs love people so much and the way dogs are, because they can't see color. All they see is grays. And so, you know how dogs is.
You lost me, but go ahead.
You know how dogs is. You know, people love dogs. Dogs love people. You know, it's like a little connection there.
Yeah.
It's because they can't see the true essence. Or do they?
They do see the true essence.
Thank you.
This is why it's not a color. So it's not the color thing. It's the connection and how you treat them. So they're loyal they're like your children. So once you raise them, you feed them usually.
The dogs ain't like your children.
A lot of people wait, pause. There's a lot of dog lovers out here who don't have children and they
treat their dog children.
And they say that their dogs are their children. Like they grieve just like they're gonna go out just like.
Oh, we need to have a dedicated segment to this. Where all my dog lovers at? My animal lovers?
I'm an animal lover.
And we want to talk about this. I want to get deeper and dive deeper into this because you're right. Because that's what the service animals are for. Because they are treated as companions.
Right.
But children?
Yes.
I think children have a special place in the human category. A special place. Children.
No, did you see? Okay. And dogs do too. You see these activists, these animals, they will.
I think they get out of hand.
No, so
that's what I'm talking about.
So we talked about the story is that I think my dog saved my life because
get out of
here. Yeah, like there was one time when there was guns pointed at my head and they was like, she has a dog. And they was like, detain the dog. They stopped looking at me for me to get my dog. They cared more about my dog than they cared about my human being. The human being standing here, walking, talking, and being able to give them information. So I'm just saying, when you look at it, you see Mike Vick. Look how they treat animals.
No, they did Mike Vick like that for other reasons.
No, but I'm just saying, but
it had nothing to do with the animals.
It did. It was the dog fighting itself.
Don't you know the people dog fighting and cock fighting and doing that junk? This is a heritage in the South.
I know,
it ain't Mike Vick.
It's
a heritage, and it's white people, blonde people, it's Mexicans, it's people who do that as a part of their culture.
But what I'm saying is, look how he was prosecuted about the animals. I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? They did it because he was black.
That's
what I said. They did it because he was professional. Player with money and power and prestige.
Look at Peter, who go ahead and boycott and get people not to wear fur coats and pouring blood on their stuff and going out there doing this stuff. People love animals.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So we're not gonna say they go over and be, but we got to do a hard stop. It's 8:00, right? I'm not a groupie. No. She's a groupie. No, not a groupie. I'm just a fan. Okay, so I'm gonna.
She might be a groupie.
No,
she don't follow him. You said you're gonna follow him from here to Orlando.
I said no. That's not a groupie. I said if I don't get tickets tonight, I'll try to get tickets.
If you go to Atlanta, you're gonna go to Atlanta.
No, I never said Atlanta. All right,
drivable.
I'm not going to Atlanta.
Okay. You'll fly. It's $50 flight.
I don't flew for a concert because I flew to see Chris Brown and her and.
Hey, I like that new Chris Brown song.
We got
Star Numbers.
We'll be back.
in Gaza has reignited the long-standing dispute over who should serve in the army. Historically, ultra-Orthodox Jews have been exempt from military service to pursue their religious studies, but many in Israel say this is unfair, including the Supreme Court. Recently, those supporting the exemption, as well as those wanting it to end, have been out on the streets protesting.
And just like that. And just like that, we're back.
We're back.
We are back. We are back. We are back.
Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Oh.
Go ahead.
Look.
No, because you so loud.
Oh. Yeah, I ain't had no coffee.
You didn't. Welcome to the back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. This is Kiana.
And I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
And we're brought to you by the New Image Project.
AKA See That. See that?
Yes, and we are redefining
what's cool.
Because smart
is the new gangster.
Baby.
If you don't know,
now you know.
No.
And if you looking on Facebook, we have a guest.
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Robin Davidov with the League of Women Voters of the St. Petersburg area. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, so you were here on Monday.
I was talking about voting.
Yes, and now
very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
Listen, very important.
Extremely.
I was gonna say people don't know. The Tampa Bay Breakfast Club actually started around voting issues. So we talk about community issues, we talk about news and media, but actually this program was conceived around Amendment 4. And we were trying to get the word out. People don't know early Amendment 4 time, it wasn't a lot of buzz around it. Community members wasn't talking about it. And we started this program to start a buzz and start talking about Amendment 4. Y'all know how successful Amendment 4 was. So that's why on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, we have community issues. We have, voting issues. We have illegal women voters. We have people come out like that because the heart and soul of this program really started about getting information out to the community. So thank you so much for coming. So tell us about why you're here today.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you bring up Amendment 4 because some people think that League of Women Voters just teaches people about voting, and we do that. And we have a voter guide, and we do election protection at the polls, really important. But we also have another side that works on social issues. And Amendment 4 is a great example. That's when we advocated for that,
yes.
the petitions, worked hard. So that's an example of social issues that we work on.
Yep.
Another example is the stadium gas plant.
Okay. Gas plant redevelopment. Okay.
That's right. Because we see this as a social issue.
Mm.
We see that promises were made to
Pull your mic out.
Closer?
Yeah.
Okay. We saw that promises were made to the descendants of the gas plant.
Yes.
Those promises were affordable housing, good jobs, building generational wealth. And we decided to study this deal and make sure that those promises were going to be met. Because that's what we think we should happen. And we looked at other stadium deals around the country. We read a lot of economists. Those are the scientists that study these kind of deals.
Okay.
We were, when we studied other deals, we were quite concerned.
Oh.
And so what concerned you?
Well, what concerned us is economists said to us that normally when these professional sports teams go to a city and ask for a new stadium to be paid for by public money, the public gets a bad deal.
Okay.
But we thought, let's study it because when the term sheet comes out for our deal, we'll be able to compare it against other deals.
Yeah.
And we're sure that our city, because we're progressive and smart, will have the best deal in the country. That's what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
But the term sheet came out and it wasn't the best deal.
What?
In our opinion, it's probably the worst deal.
It's the worst deal that you've seen?
Yes.
Okay, can you elaborate on the key findings of the survey
Yes.
regarding the Rays-Hines
hold on.
Stadium?
Before we talk about the findings, let's talk about how it was compiled.
Okay.
Right? Let's talk about okay, so because of y'all social action is why y'all took this on.
Right.
So how did y'all go about taking the survey and how did y'all compile the information?
A good question. So we decided that a lot of people that we talked to didn't understand the deal.
Okay.
It's sort of on the website, but it's complicated, and we thought we would summarize the deal for people and then send out a survey.
Okay.
So we sent out a survey to 32,000 registered voters in the city of St. Pete because if you provide your email address when you register to vote,
Yes,
that
you can
information
yes.
becomes public information.
Right.
You're
Okay.
told that when you do that.
Yes, it
So
is.
this is public information. We got the list for the entire county. We sorted out all just people that live in the city. We sent out 32,000 surveys, and we got almost 800 back.
Okay.
And it's spread out across the whole city. You know, every city.
And y'all nonpartisan.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we at the end of the survey, we asked everyone where councilmatic district you live in, because we wanted to see if it was spread out.
Yeah.
And if they didn't know, we gave them a link
To show them
look
how
it
to
up,
figure
how to figure it out. So the results were quite stunning, I would say. We asked different questions. We asked if they thought that the city should negotiate a better deal for taxpayers.
Okay.
The answer was about 80% yes.
Okay.
We asked if they think that the Hines Rays should pay for the land that they're going to be given. At a market reasonable rate. And we had about 75% said yes, they should.
Ooh.
And we talked about the affordable housing plan. You know, we told everyone, and these are just facts, that there was going to be 4,400 on-site residential units. About 600 of those, only 600 will be below market rates. We asked if how important is it for the city to stand by its commitment to provide more affordable housing than this small amount. And we had about 80% said it was important or very important.
Wow.
We asked about if the land should be sold at fair market value. Instead of being sold for $100 million, should be sold at what it's really worth, which is more like $500-600 million.
Yeah,
and that money be used to provide more affordable housing or to help families build equity in homes. And a big return on that, 60% said absolutely yes. We asked if the Rays-Hines should pay for their stadium land instead of they're going to be using the land, not paying rent. We had 75% say yes.
Wow.
They should pay for the land where the stadium is, or at least pay rent.
Right. Because everybody else has to.
Well, every other business has to buy their land or rent their land.
Right.
And pay the owner of the land, which is us, rent. They're not going to pay us rent.
Oh, so the owner ain't city council and the mayor. The owner is the people?
We're taxpayers. We own
the owner land. Oh, I'm just clarifying. I'm just clarifying because sometimes people think the mayor owns it, or they think people don't understand what's going on. So we have to break it down. And so the people are actually the owners, and the city council and the mayor are like our stewards or
the representatives.
It's like
so if you want to look at it, we own the land, right? And then they represent us, and they're supposed to negotiate the best deal on our behalf to make sure that it's beneficial for us.
Thank you. That helped ground the conversation, though.
Go ahead.
This is an interesting one because when we did our research, we found out that a lot of teams share revenue with the city.
Yeah.
Why? Because the city paid for half the stadium. If you make an investment,
you get
even
a return.
If you loan your friend money to build a business, you expect what?
A return.
Return.
Yeah. Your money back plus interest.
Exactly.
And that's what, don't you get return? Ain't that an equity? Ain't equity in your home is a return? Ain't this an equity deal? Yeah. Okay, so what's the equity on this deal?
Yeah. So actually right now, today, the city gets 50 cents every ticket that's sold to the Rays game.
Wow.
That's about $640,000 a year.
Wow.
It's not a lot, but
so for 30 years, 6 million, 12, 20 million.
In the new deal, we get zero.
Wait a minute. So we renegotiated the deal to zero. Who? I wonder who. So we negotiated.
So we went from getting 50 cents
a ticket
to
zero,
getting none
with a new stadium, and they get ownership of
so
the land.
I'm kind of breaking this down from what your survey and all the information that you found. With this Rays-Hines deal at this point, they pay no rent, right? They're getting a huge discount because we're going to sell it to them for $100 million, which is worth about 500. So we're not also going to get any revenue from it. They're building 4,000 residence units there, and only 600 is affordable.
Or under market value.
Or under market, because that doesn't have to be affordable, because it can be under market.
Yeah.
Under market can still be unaffordable to
some
most
people. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to
put it all together.
Put it all together and see.
I'm right there with you.
And I'm because I haven't heard any benefits.
Oh no, keep going.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So on the question about, I believe Rays-Hines should be required to share revenue with the city proportional to the city's investment. Big response there, 90%.
Oh, that's the biggest one. It's
That
been
is
80-75. So 90 says we should have a revenue sharing system. I've been saying that. People don't want to listen to me because I don't have the education. I grew up and graduated from Pinellas County, and I've been saying it's supposed to be revenue sharing going on from the beginning. And the people looked at me like I was crazy. I'm glad to see 90% of registered voters who took this survey feel the same way.
Go ahead.
Another question we asked was, we said Rays-Hines is entitled to wait up to 30 years to subdivide the property and resell it to developers. They only pay the city for the land as each parcel is developed, and they don't pay interest.
So break that down so people can understand.
Sure. So they're buying this 60 acres, the gas plant property, about 60 acres, less some green space area.
Okay.
And they're going to pay $100 million. But they not, when we buy a house, if I sell you my house, you got to give me a check that day.
Right.
They're not writing a check when they get the land. They're going to pay the city out over 30 years as they develop each parcel. And they pay but the price they're paying is the 109. Meanwhile, we know it's going to be happening every year. What happens to the price going up? But that's our land. That's our appreciation. But we don't get that.
Okay, so another.
This is heavy.
Okay, so let's break this down again. So they're going to be able to walk in there, get 80 acres.
Lock it in.
Well, 60.
Well, 60. I mean, not 60. That's not because it's. So they're going to get.
They splitting it because the stadium gets some, and then the stadium is still going to be retained ownership by the county and the city. So that's another little thing we're going to talk about later.
So we're going to go in. So they get to get their 60 acres. They don't have to give us a check until they start to develop or sell off their portion, and then it has to stay it doesn't go at market value at that point, and we don't get any interest as well. So it's just the 100 million
right now, this price.
And
regardless, pay you to 30 years, and then after I pay you in 30 years, I get the benefit, the profit going to appreciation. I get the benefit from, even if I just broker the deal, what they call assign the contract. They have a right to assign, so I can assign the contract to another person, take the profit off the top, then pay you with what's left.
And so in my mind, they can sell one portion for 100 million.
Yep. And then I got the rest free.
And then I have the rest free to do as I please, because I don't have to give you anything else on nothing else I do, as long as I pay that portion. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. All right.
This is a sweetheart deal now.
Not for us.
No, not for us. So, and we're gonna give other people who support or against this deal the opportunity to talk. This is not a one-sided conversation. You are now listening to the Temporary Breakfast Club, 99 Jams Carafesta Radio. This is a platform open to the community. So right now we have the League of Women Voters representative giving us the details from a survey they took about the gas plant redevelopment. They surveyed 30,000 or upwards of 30,000 registered voters, the 800 who came back, and we're going over the results. And
and we're getting comments in. So we're fronting them the land, but won't. Okay, so we're fronting them the land, but we won't get our money back for the product, nor will we benefit from the deal in any way. Tragic. UB say like owner financing.
But no, this is more.
What's interest free
owner financing? Yeah, and this is This is signing over your property without payment. Owner financing is you beginning to get payments. So if you look at it as owner financing, this is not that. This is not a mortgage. What this is saying is I'm assigning you the rights to the property today. You don't have to pay me until you execute, so I can hold it. I can not do nothing with it for 30 years, like the last 30 years. A lot of people don't know that the MLB team, who we know as the Rays, have had redevelopment rights over that property for the last 30 years, y'all. They could have done this right now 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So, but that we're not going to go deep into the weeds, but keep going, because I don't want to do this in public.
Go ahead.
Okay. I guess the last question. Yes. So, we said that on the city website, it says that taxpayers must, quote, chip in to pay for a new $300 million stormwater project. And the city needs additional money for improvements to our water, wastewater infrastructure. So these are the high-level city needs right now. And chip in, I guess that means pay more taxes.
Oh, that's what
for these.
We got to chip in?
That's what the city says. Yeah, we have to chip in. Yeah, taxpayers have to chip in to pay for this stormwater.
Is the Rays a part of we?
No. So then the question.
Okay, wait, pause again, because I'm trying to take this all in, right? This is a lot. So not only do we not get no money up front,
but we're gonna chip in.
Now we have to pay extra money. They don't have to give us interest on anything. But we do it, and then we don't even have a term when they have to pay it back because it's based on their redevelopment, however they move. So they can sit and not sell and make money and pocket it all, and we never see anything.
Well,
because we're not getting anything from the ticket sales anymore as well.
Right. We're not getting rent. We're not getting property tax from the stadium. And we're not getting any share of revenues.
So
now what they say is, okay, their side of the story, let's see both sides. Their side of the story is this, that so many people are going to come to these games and they're going to go to the game and then they're going to spend money downtown. They're going to buy food and drinks and T-shirts and stuff like that. That's what they say. That's our return. But there's a problem with it.
The people are. Okay.
That's like the visitors to the stadium are going to spend.
Another pause. Another pause.
Tourism. We're back to tourism.
Locals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're back to tourism because these are more like tourist dollars that we're going to look for a return on, not necessarily from the investment itself, not from the land itself, not from the wealth that will be created from the land, the upward or the vertical development. None of that will be what we're looking to recoup from. We're going to look to recoup and tax tourism because we don't get money from that shirt being sold. We get the money from the tax.
Right, sales tax.
So is this a tax scheme?
Well, I think the problem is they're trying to say that so many people are going to come to the games at the stadium and that they're going to spend so much money that it's going to repay the taxpayers. But there's a problem.
Okay, what's the problem?
Go ahead.
Two problems. One is
because I see. Go ahead.
The Rays have the third worst attendance in the entire league.
They had the lowest attended playoff game
in the entire
the history of modern MLB last year.
And the reason that have the lowest attendance is not because the stadium is not attractive. It's because the location. It's not a good location.
But they doubling back down on the location, though.
Exactly. And that's what doesn't make sense. Because why would you build a new stadium in a location when you can't even fill the stadium you have? We can't
in the same location.
In the same location. And then as far as tourists go, this is so interesting, I think. So the tourist board, they have, the county runs a tourist convention bureau. They ask tourists that come here, what did you do when you were here? They ask them that all the time because they want to know, where did they go? What did they do? How did they spend their money? And this is so shocking. For 2023, the answer was, how many people went to Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field? And the answer is 3%.
Wow,
I have to tell
you're
you
speechless.
You're speechless. And here, Sunken Gardens, the city owns Sunken Gardens.
Yes.
Nice tourist attraction. 8%.
Oh, so Sunken Gardens is a better tourist attraction than the Rays. I mean, it do make sense, and we're gonna have representatives from the Rays come. We're gonna have the other side of the story,
Right.
But I want to say this: it was a fact that the Rays had the lowest seeded playoff game in modern baseball history. If I'm wrong, please come and correct me. Please look it up, Google me, because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. But it was stated there hasn't been an attendance that low since the early 1900s. And I'm talking about modern day. This just happened. You know, the Rays have been playoff teams for the last 3 to 5 seasons.
Yeah,
they've been going back and forth and doing.
But so
good.
even though they're low, they're still making money.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's capitalism. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, but because we're saying it if they're still not making money. Like it's still a benefit.
We're not making money.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Rays are still making money.
Yes.
They're still benefiting from
the Rays. When the Rays first came here, they were worth the team. It's a private company. Team was worth $200 million. Today, it's $2.3 billion.
So we don't have any stock in the Rays as a city.
And some cities, honestly, share revenue if the team is sold. If they get their brand new stadium and then they sell their team,
we should get a piece.
And
if we don't, we are SOL, and we're going to be holding a tax bag. We're going to be holding a lot of responsibilities that, and it is beneficial to negotiate deals like this for the sports team. The sports team is a for-profit company,
right?
No matter how much we love baseball, no matter how much we love these different athletic organizations, these are for-profit companies with a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to bring in profits, right? And I think that our representatives has a fiduciary responsibility on our behalf. I think that we have a fiduciary responsibility on behalf of the community and the city we live in to make sure that we get a better deal.
It is, and I'm going to kind of agree with Teresa on that. The lack of attendance isn't solely about the location. Frankly, it's majority of the baseball fans in the Tampa Bay area are transplants from other cities who are diehard fans of the Yankees, Boston, Red Sox, and other teams. When their teams play at the Trops, the games are sold out.
Right.
Because we can play the Yankees 200 times.
Oh yeah.
But you can't play the Yankees 200 times. You can't play the Orioles 200 times. They only get 1, 2, 3 games, and we can't build our economy off that. We can't leverage or hedge so many resources, and the output is so low far as profit and benefits to the community.
What other teams have done, other cities have done is say to the teams, if you're telling us you're going to fill this 30,000 seat stadium, the new one, if you're selling us that, and you're telling us that there's going to be 80 non-baseball events a year that are going to bring people to our city, then guarantee it. Put it in writing and put in a clawback provision in the contract that says if that doesn't happen, we still get something.
Right.
And there's nothing.
Because
you can talk all day long that it's going to be filled, but if it's not in writing, you can't take that to the
I do events, right? Okay.
Hold on.
Hello, caller. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nick Carey. I'm a organizer with Base in Florida, and I'm a candidate for city council up in District 3.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I really appreciate the conversation that y'all are having. I think Robin has done a phenomenal job of laying out a lot of the economics of this deal and why it doesn't benefit us. We have so many issues in our city. Up where I live, we've seen residents' homes that have flooded 2-3 times in the past year. We have a housing crisis in our city. Folks can't afford childcare, and we're going to sink somewhere around $1.6 billion into private companies that are worth collectively about $100 billion. And so it just doesn't make any sense from an economic standpoint for our city. And I think the big argument is not so much about baseball, because, you know, I consider myself a Rays fan. I love to go to the games, but we should be asking them the same question that all of our residents have to face daily is can we afford to live here? And our residents aren't receiving these giant subsidies from the city. Why should these entities that are fully capable of paying for their own stadium, for their own development, be receiving our money when we're getting very little in return?
Hold on one second, Nick. So he's done a really good job. That's what he's saying. And he's saying this is a bad deal. Why should we be giving money and we're not getting anything back? I'm trying to summarize because everybody in the studio can't hear you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm doing. So yes, and the storm drains, how bad it is, and we shouldn't be solely responsible for it. Is that correct, Nick?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Go
we
ahead.
have so many other priorities to spend. We have so many other priorities that we could be spending our money. That's what our tax dollars are. Those are residents' money. We should be spending that to invest in the people that live here and make their quality of life better, not for frivolous things like a baseball stadium.
You say that there's so much that we can be spending our money on to help the people in the community to make our lives better than spending it on a baseball field.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much for that.
You know, the answer, the
Thank you,
survey
Nick.
agreed with him.
Of course.
Came in at
Have a great day.
Almost 80% agree that we have higher priorities that we need to put our money to. Because here's the thing. The city is it's going to cost the city $700 million over 30 years to pay for the stadium.
Stadium alone.
Well, that includes $130 million in infrastructure.
Yes.
So the stadium and infrastructure and the parking garage. Okay. $700 million. That means that every year, and what economists tell us is if you divert property taxes to pay for a stadium like this, you create a hole, right? So there's two choices when you have a big hole. You either fill it up with new property taxes or you have less services you can provide to the people. So if you're getting almost 5,000 new people here just because of this, and we have all that other construction coming in, they're not coming here for less services.
No.
And so raising property taxes is bad for everybody. It means if you wanted to buy a house,
it's going to cost you so much more because of taxes.
You can't buy a house if the property taxes.
Oh, taxes are already crazy right now. Y'all, have you seen the taxes? Have anybody seen them? How about the utility bills? Has anybody seen your water bill? You know, if you don't.
Don't we all listen? We pay our water bill.
No, everybody don't. So I'm just saying the water bill has been going up by incremental since the last administration because of the dumping. So the water bill has been going up like 15% every year. It's projected to go up again.
2015.
Yep, it's going to keep going.
2025.
It's going to keep going up until
that's next year.
Yes, and so what I'm saying is that's already in place. Yeah. What we don't want is more of things like that being tacked on top of already high bills.
Right.
We need something to help pay it down. So it would be nice if we had a deal that would have a recurring mechanism like the Wikiwachi funds. So we sold Wikiwachi in, say, 2002 to whoever we sold it to. And there's an arm in there where there's dollars that come back every year. They call it the Wikiwachi fund. Somebody look it up for me. It's called the Wikiwachi fund. And there's millions of dollars. That beautiful skate park that's in Campbell Park, that was built from Wikiwachi funds. Funds that were from a property sale in 2002. So the geniuses that were around here then said, no, I'm going to sell it to you, but we're going to have a recurring mechanism, and then that can fund something in our city, which is a great idea if we want to do that for the gas plant. How about the gas plant equity fund, where it'd be a recurring fund where millions of dollars can go back in from, say, ticket sales or booth sales or condominium sales. I don't know where the money will come from.
Exactly right. And if this land is worth this gas plant land worth $500 million
right now,
that's a heck of a fund. I mean, you can do a lot of homes for that
right now.
A lot of equity for that.
Yes, a lot of equity
instead of $700 million going.
But what is equity without ownership? I don't think there is none, because when you think of ownership and I have equity in my home, it's because I have ownership, and that's where my equity comes from. We're talking about equity without ownership with this deal. It doesn't add up. Kiana, you got a question?
I did. So first, I'm reading all this. I do have a question. They say, do you see any benefits of this deal for the community? That was one. Did you find it?
Yeah, I guess the one benefit I see, and everyone agrees, is we don't want to look at this parking lot longer. We just don't. We don't want it to be a parking lot. That is the biggest asset we have, is that land. So developing the land is going to be what we need to do, but we can do it in a better, kind of more equal way. That's what we're saying. So we want to see the gas plant develop. Everybody does.
We just want the right deal.
Yeah.
What actions have the league taken in response of these surveys and the results?
So we are meeting one-on-one with city council members and county commissioners to go over this with them. And they've done that. We testified at the Community Benefits Council. Yep. And we gave them actually 2 recommendations, and other groups too. And they actually voted unanimously on 2 of our recommendations.
Okay.
Unanimous to send that forward to city council. We're very happy about that.
What was those recommendations?
Right. Well, the first one was that Hines is supposed to build 1,200. They call it affordable. I call it attainable housing. Even 600 on the property, 600 off. But they also had a buyout provision where if they didn't want to build those, they could pay $25,000 a unit. We talked to other developers in the city, and they said, no, they have to pay $150,000 penalty if they don't build a unit that they promised to build.
I say $25,000 is so cheap, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can't do nothing with that.
Can't do not with. Okay, go ahead.
That ain't even down payment.
No.
The Community Benefit Council unanimously, including the president of the city council, which is on that, recommended that $25,000 penalty be $150,000 penalty for on-site, $175,000 off-site. So, in other words, a bigger disincentive for them not to build housing. That is our number one priority for this entire site,
which they don't have to do until 20 years out.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. But it's not planned.
In their plan, it says the housing comes on later in the development. It can come anytime in the development.
Come anytime. But it's phased out.
It's phased, yeah.
And, it doesn't come first. So, Hines built a big development in Washington, D.C. on property owned by Washington, D.C. government, 60 acres, similar.
Wow.
And Washington, D.C. leased the land to Hines, did not sell it to them. And Washington, D.C. said to them, you know what, the first building that's going to open is going to be for disabled veterans. And that's the first building that they opened.
Wow.
And here, what's the first building that's going to open?
The stadium. It's going to be 2 stadiums on that property.
Right.
So people don't have imagination, and I got a superior imagination. So when they told me and I read the plan, I said, you know what? It's going to be a period where there's going to be 2 stadiums.
I thought
from
that
the
too.
last stadium, the last home game from Trop to the new first time home game in the new thing. Both of those buildings will be there at that time
because they can't tear it down. They build the other one because they got to make sure that the games are coming.
That other one's still gonna be back there. So guess what? It's gonna be a whole bunch of land with 2 stadiums on there. We might have to live in the Tropicana. People might have to live in the Tropicana one day. I have a imagination out this world, and I'm imagining, but it might be a circumstance where it become housing. That'd be sad.
So I think reason Washington, D.C. leased the land instead of sold it to them is
movie makeup. I was making a disaster movie.
Yeah, but go ahead.
It's like Katrina.
Yeah, I know. I swear that I was like, boy, if like all the wrong things happen, oh my God, we'll be holding a big bag, y'all. We got to think about that.
Go ahead.
Okay. The second one was, you talked about the intentional equity. There's a city ordinance that says the developers that get city money have to give money back. And it doesn't say how much. But it does say an amount equal to the investment that's made by the city. So we're talking about $1 billion investment of our city. They're going to give back $50 million over 30 years. So here was our number 2. We said, if you pay $50 million out over 30 years, that's not worth $50 million because the present value of money.
Right.
So our recommendation was, if you pay out $50 million over 30 years, that's not $50 million, that's $30 million. So the Community Benefit Council passed a unanimous recommendation to tie this $50 million to inflation so that you don't end up with $30 million.
It sounds like bankrupt to me. Not like the whole deal for the city.
Okay.
Because
it
sounds horrible.
Yeah.
For me,
$1 billion, $50 million,
and then on top of and they,
I wouldn't even. I have a problem.
And then on top of that, they can stretch it out as long as they want. Like they're getting everything for everything.
No, this has been 8 months of negotiation, 18 months of negotiation. This has been stern negotiation. I heard him.
Cut down your radio, please.
Turn your radio down, please.
All right, now introduce yourself.
Ray Tampa.
Hello, Ray Tampa. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm so happy to hear this conversation. This is awesome for me to get up at 7:30 to turn my radio on. It's a big deal, but this whole discussion is a big deal. And you all in the beginning, before you brought your guest on, you talked about how people come to the decision to support this deal or not deal. Sometimes it's based on friendships and leadership of a certain group. If the leadership goes this way, then people tend to go that way, even though they don't know what they're voting on. Very important statement. I have had guests on my show, the Ray Tampa podcast, such as Deveron Gibbons, such as Andy Oliver, such as Pastor Sykes. And I'm about to have a guest by the name of Ron Diner. All of these people are saying exactly what your guest is saying today.
Okay.
And what you all have said, they're totally against this deal. It's horrendous for the people of this city. And my thing is, why can't reasonable, intelligent people see what we see? Because they don't want to see it. Because there's something in it for them and not for the masses of the city. So again and again, thanks for this conversation. I really appreciate what I'm hearing. To your guest, Robin, great job. And I'll continue listening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, this is why we do what we do.
Wow. That was thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray Tampa. Ray Tampa, the show is on the 99 Gems Care Festa Radio. He is part of the team. Thank you, Uncle Ray.
And when you listen to here, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, and then we're going to go back to this conversation. We're here for the community.
Yes.
And I say this all the time, and you will hear us say it. It's like any relationship. We want healthy relationships. When it's bad, we call it out. When we good, we praise you. Right? This is nothing against anybody personally.
I said that earlier,
right? But we're just.
See, I tried to grease the runway.
No. This is about what's right for the community, and in a partnership. Sometimes somebody who is making the decision or is in it can't see all the negativity or all the abuse that is coming from it, and it's outside people that allow you, that tell you, hey, this is what it is. So our elected officials that's in here and making these deals, you're in the middle of it. So I understand when it comes to negotiation,
you might not see it.
It's hard. You know, people can sell you on stuff individually by themselves. And again, people don't read the fine print. You know? Like they
you have a fiduciary responsibility at this time, and we're not going to play friendly with this.
Right,
this
because
is the biggest development in our city's history, and we're going to have to take it serious, y'all. We're not going to just give a friendly pass and say, "Oh, you didn't read it. Oh, they such a nice person. Oh, he's such a good guy." No, buddy.
This is why we're
that's
and
what
this is
saying.
and this is not personal against how we feel about anybody individually.
Yes.
This is strictly personal about this deal right here, and we do not want 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now that St. Pete is in a black hole and everybody is talking about us.
Black hole is we gray or we thought we was colorblind today.
Black. That is colorblind.
No.
We took all color away.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You say you can't be colorblind. You have to know colors.
But I'm just saying we don't want to be in a bad situation again. Everything about this deal says that St. Pete can be bankrupt after this. We don't get no money up front. You know, we have to pay into them, but they don't have to pay into us. What I'm hearing right now, like we got to help them develop this, but they don't have to give us no upfront money. And then on top of that, they don't, again, the $100 million that we're selling it for is based on when they decide to redevelop and sell it to somebody else. And they can sell one piece of property for $100,000 and then they profit from everything else. Also, the Rays no longer have to give anything back to the city of St. Pete for the sales of the game. Now, imagine they're telling us as of right now. No, I'm just saying, as of right now, we're getting 50 cents. And what they're selling us is that for a stadium that's not being sold out on a consistent basis, that we're going to make money because now the stadium is going to sell out. Now, I've been in St. Pete all of my life, and I remember when it was built. And if my math is mathing and you're a gambling person, and if it wasn't sold out before, I would bet that it's not going to be sold out after. If I'm a gambling person, and I gamble sometimes.
That's controversy.
No, I'm just saying.
It's controversial.
But you're looking at it when the numbers are you know, when you're doing the math on this, it's going to take a second for it to build where it needs to be.
Accumulate. It takes time to accumulate.
So again, we're banking on all these people to come here and spend money on businesses that are already up and popping. You know what I mean? Fergs already do what they do. They already get the people that's over there. Yeah, if they get more, that's going to be amazing. Yeah. But these businesses are going to open regardless every day if tourism is here or not. Baseball games fill up or not. So to sell me on that, I'm a promoter. I do business. I know whatever I project or whoever tell me they're going to come, I know I got to take a percentage of that off of it because they just not going to show up. They got sick. They decided to change their mind. The weather was bad. Whatever the case may happen, life is lifing. So this deal for me is not making sense. But go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So, what kind of responses or how have people been receiving the information? I think I just did a press conference or did because it was in the like one of the papers or something. So how has the reception been of this?
We sent out a press release. We didn't have a press conference.
Oh, it was a press release. All right.
Press release. We did. I think there was some mention of it in the local press a little bit. And we've honestly gotten some pushback from people who are criticizing it.
Yeah.
We're open to criticism.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean,
we are.
That's
but
what
the criticism is that we didn't survey everybody. Well, we think we did.
That sounds like a referendum. If we want to survey,
there's not going to be a vote. So.
No, but I mean, if that's a criticism,
we could.
But you get what I'm saying? If that's a criticism, we should have a referendum and let's have the people talk. Because I was a part of the CBAC. Well, I'm not on the CBAC,
right?
But we were a part of helping organize that. We come back with the community benefits agreement since its inception here in the city of St. Petersburg. So I was aware there was 80 plus surveys where that informed the CBAC's decision making on the gas plant redevelopment. I said 80. So you said 800 registered voters.
Right.
Right? And they took the information from 80 and look to make a plan for 30 years. They're looking to move forward. They're actually looking to move forward as soon as March 21st.
And look at 80 and 800.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Because
going to tell
it's
you.
what, the 80 and 800.
And
you
this
get what
is
I'm saying?
okay. Again, I do promotions, right? I do events. And I say you're intentional about your marketing,
Yes,
right?
on the people you reach.
You said the Rays are worth $2.something billion, right? They have marketing dollars to touch almost everybody. They
got shirts. They say the shirts that we here to stay.
Right. They have marketing dollars to touch everybody that they want to. I see the billboard that says, like, I'm here to say. That billboard can say, please go do the survey so we can figure out what to do with this land if they wanted to get more people involved.
I think they leapfrog the community input part. I think with the announcement that the Rays would be doing this, they had an announcement it was going to be the Sugar Hill gang.
Right.
The Sugar Hill group or whoever.
Right.
So when Sugar Hill was batted down, they redid the RFP with high emphasis on equity and affordable housing.
Okay, so here we go. What steps do you think the local government officials should take in response to the concerns raised by the residents of the survey? In the survey.
Well, actually, we asked the city administration to provide a knowledgeable staff person to answer questions from residents in a free and open forum.
Okay.
We asked in December. They have not responded. And we offered to put on a forum, would be free, open to everyone. They won't do it. And I think that's something that should be done because I think they have responsibility to answer questions. The only time we've been invited to give comments at the forum, at the Palladium and all that, but no answer. The only time questions were answered is if you went to Tiger Bay, you had to pay $100 to be a member and have your question answered.
Yeah,
it's got to be a free forum, and the league is offering to put that on in a way that's respectable, and people can submit questions in advance. But they're responsible to answer questions. They are, and we don't understand why that isn't being done. It should be done many times.
I think what's been going on, the people who are for the development have been exalted and raised up, right? And the people who show disdain or dissent from the gas plant redevelopment have been kind of marginalized and pushed into a corner, right? And not because what they're saying isn't valid, because what you're saying isn't the narrative that wants to be exalted. So of course I'm not gonna empower you to have a community conversation. So I have to answer questions from you. Who are you? You get what I mean? So the bigger question for me is, when are the questions going to be answered for the community, right? When can the community get the questions that they're asking to be answered from a city representative, from a Rays representative, from a Hines representative, and not just a person who's there to speak? Because the problem is we have so many contracted liaisons and hired hitmen that the real people with the power and the influence to make the changes that we need, voices aren't being heard in the community. We're only hearing from the people they feel that we want to hear from, right? And it's a business strategy. It's business 101, right? I'm going to give you a person that looks like you, that talks like you, to talk to you. And okay, that's cool. But now when we have these real issues, that person cannot truly tell me about the intricacies.
And I'm going to tell you what you're finding out. When I was saying how, like, people don't read the fine print, a lot of times when you see representatives, and not saying this is all the time, but when you have representative, they have been sold on lies as well. And so when people are coming in, because people don't
sold on lies too.
Right. And so when they're going on and they believe it because they trust the person who's told them this, and so then they run with it and repeat it.
Yeah, that's business 101 though.
Yeah, that is. Hello, caller, introduce yourself.
Once again, Ray Tampa, and I don't intend to keep calling in, but you're saying some things that I just had to comment on. Robin mentioned that they have reached out to the city in an effort to get someone to come and explain the deal. But the city has not provided that person. The city has been very intentional in trying to do what Jabbar said, marginalize the people that don't tend to agree with them. That is the issue. The city has held a series of invitation-only meetings. Invitation-only. That is so damn ridiculous. And the people that are being invited are the people that agree with them. One last thing about that. The city had a meeting at the police department where they invited a lot of pastors. And how can you have such a meeting and you don't invite Pastor Murray, Greg Murray? How do you do that? How do you not invite Pastor Manuel Sice, Dr. Manuel Sice? How do you not invite Andy Oliver? Because they're not in that agreement group. That is so damn ridiculous. And, well, you were right.
Yeah.
They're trying to marginalize, push aside the people that are not in their camp. So I just had to say that. Thanks, Jabbar. Thanks, Robin. And you all are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Okay, listen, we're going to have to continue this conversation. This has been amazing. I see Dan put in there. He followed the show for years. This is the most informative show by far. By far,
that's a big statement,
right? And he was like, "Please do this weekly to continue to put the and so
that was a big statement."
So I'm going to tell you, we have a series.
Yes,
this is the conversation.
Yes.
This is very, very important to us and the people in the community. We listen. Right.
That's why we're doing it.
And this is why we're doing it. If nobody else is listening, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is listening. And so we'll be continuing this conversation next week.
Yep.
We have somebody on the opposition side to kind of give it to answer some
questions. The platform. We ain't gonna just do what we think we want to do.
No, because this is not one-sided. We really want us to go and peel this onion and make sure that we're making the best decision and maybe open eyes so other people can see, like, hey, maybe we might need to change this, because there's a lot of stuff that need to be changed. It's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed. Now, we'll probably, I would love to have Robin back in another time. So we probably will.
Thank you so much.
But what we will do now, we have to end the show.
We got to. But guess what?
Because we got 1 minute left.
This ain't the end. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining us. This is what we're here to do. We're going to have this conversation and many more. This is a community platform, and we're going to look to bring our community up one show at a time.
You got something?
Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Stay tuned. Listen, because Sister Hughes is up next. Be the change you want to be or see. Write down those 5 things. If you missed it, replay all day, but we will be on moshow.com.
Live from Atlanta.
Right, because we are syndicated over here at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We love what we do. So see y'all on Monday.
Yes.
Y'all have a great day. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm Kiana.
I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we're out.